surrendered, and to pile up all our arms and just wait for further orders, which we did, and we were told then the next day to march that 15 miles to Changi.
Yes, yeah. Now, when you were out in the Changi area, you were in fact only there for about 3 months before you were moved to Burma. Is that correct?
I was moved to
Burma.
Burma, yeah. Well, we didn't know, of course, it was Burma, but I thought conditions in Changi initially were absolutely appalling. The rice we received was sour. The cooks had no idea of how to cook it, and it was a grey gelatinous mass. There was no salt, so we arranged then to send teams of 50 men to the sea so they could cook the salt in salt water. Cook the rice in salt water.
Yes, yeah. Do you know how were you chosen to go as part of A-Force? Do you know what the selection procedure was?
Yes, they said to me that the Japanese want 6,000 men, and so of course we told them that they'd have to take them away from the work parties in the go-downs, and so then they reduced it to 3,000, and they asked for volunteers from the officers, I reckon. I thought things could never be worse, so I volunteered.
Yes, yeah. And do you remember the day that you went to the wharf and embarked on one of the 2 vessels that went up to the...
When we got to the go-downs, they sent lorries to take us from Changi, fortunately, to one of the wharves. And we were there for a long time, and finally we got on board these dreadful vessels.
Which one did you go on?
Sowerby's Maru.
Yes, yes. And do you recall the passage by which you went north?
Yes, through the Malacca Straits.
Yes.
Yes. And we called in at Medan.
Yes.
And that was absolutely awful. We anchored off Medan. We weren't allowed to go ashore, and it was very, very hot. And we just stayed there, I think, for 2 days. And finally, they must have been waiting for this vessel from Java to come up.
Yes.
Because there were 3 vessels accompanied by a Japanese sloop taking us to we didn't know where. But because we were told that this party of 3,000 would be going to the country and where the conditions would be good and there'd be plenty of medical supplies and plenty of food. So like fools, we believed them. And it was most difficult from the medical point of view that they didn't take more medical medications.
Medical equipment and yes, yeah.
And not only equipment, but the
drugs
as well.
Yes, yeah. Now from Medan, was it? Medan?
Yeah, in Sumatra.
Yes, that was where I believe that there was an unusual situation in that one of the vessels that carried the people coming from there was called the England Maru. Do you recall that at all? The England Maru was one of the names of one of the ships that joined your convoy.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the one that Colonel Coates was on.
Oh, was it? Yes, that's right. He came from Java.
Yes, yeah. So you then moved over to Victoria Point?
Yes, that was the first stop.
Yes.
After Medan.
Yeah. And then...
But I was with the group that got off at Magui.
Oh, you got off at Magui, so that would have been the first occasion you ever came in contact with Lieutenant Colonel Coates in Magui.
Yeah.
Was John Chalmers there as well?
Yes.
Major John Chalmers?
Yeah.
Did you have anything to do with them, or did they, as doctors, were they separate?
Separate.
Yeah.
Mowgli, as you would have read in Blue Haze, was very badly organised. This Tokoro, this Japanese lieutenant, was an absolute idiot, really, what he did. He made everybody live in the school, and the latrines were all blocked and dreadful. And, couldn't get any food, and conditions were dreadful. Really.
Yes. And that group that you were with, that was called Ramsey Force, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
George Ramsey.
Now Ramsey, what unit did he command before capitulation?
I really don't know.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Anything else you recall in particular about Magui?
Yes, I do. That after firstly, as an officer, we took the men to the job, what they had to do. And I said, what do you think of that? They said, oh, heavens, we could do that next to no time. Where's the machinery? And they were told in certain terms they were the machinery.
Yes, yeah.
And
what was the work they were doing?
It was to get an airstrip, make an airstrip.
Yes. So it was a brand new one that had to be made.
There was none there at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did any aircraft land on that in the time you were there?
I can't recall it.
No.
No, I don't think so.
And how many months were you there, Oz?
Let's see. We arrived there in May, and I think we left in August.
Yes.
Yeah.
And where did you move to
And
after?
then we moved to Tavoy.
Yeah.
That's where Brigadier Varley was.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the men were sent on a ship, but I was in the rear group, and so we walked, and walked for hundreds of miles. And we put all our gear on a hand-laden or hand-operated rail truck.
Mm-hmm. And
you could jump onto it too when it was going downhill.
yes. So where was this rail from?
Yay.
Oh, so you walked up as far as Yea?
Yeah.
Do you remember whether a doctor by the name of Brereton was with that party? Yeah, Captain Brereton, a doctor, medical officer? Or do you remember who the medical officer was?
I remember the name, but I can't remember any incidents.
No. Yes, yeah.
No.
And what was your health like at this stage?
Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
See, Tokoro, after a while, realised that the accommodation was appalling, and that the Japanese had lots of huts built especially for the Japanese troops, and they weren't going to occupy them. So they said we could occupy them. Now that was absolutely wonderful. So the last month or so at Mowgli was quite pleasant, but up till that time it was appalling.
Now you said that you moved from Yea through to Tun Bazart, I take it, by walking up the railway line.
Yeah.
And you had the
we
hand-operated
trolleys. Yeah.
Were you able to go the whole way along the railway line, or were there some bridges that were knocked out?
It was one of the crossings of the river that was bombed.
Yes.
And so we had to go then in a small boat operated by the natives.
Yes, yeah.
By the Burmese.
Yeah. So, about what date did you arrive at Tun Bazart?
At Tam Bazart.
Yeah.
Tam Bazart.
Yes.